I would say that phrase, you embody hope and encourage others to do the same. Because that was one of my phrases from the speech. And then don't be afraid to ask for help when you really need it. Because, you may be going through this, you may be going through that. Maybe give your older brother a call. Maybe give your little sister a call. Maybe just talk to somebody and give them a hug.
Look, the biggest podcast where you can learn them lessons. Line for line where you can learn from different sections. Made it out the mud, come tell your story, blessings. Never know who listening, never know who stressing. Divine gave you a voice, come speak your honest truth. Line for line, go bar for bar, it's up to you. Wanna talk sports, gov, and politics? Wanna talk about where you from and your accomplishments? The Line for Line is really where you need to be. A platform that's really made for folks like you and me. You can find it all no matter what you seek. Whether you calling or you listening, tune in every week.
All right. Welcome back to a very special episode of Line for Line podcast. We have a very special, gracious young man in the building. We have Mr. Talib in the building. Talib, how are you today, sir?
I'm good, and you?
I'm actually hanging in there, young man, on this beautiful Saturday.
Yes, sir.
How does it feel to be on the podcast?
Oh, man, it feels great because I feel like I can express my voice and help it grow big.
Of course. Now, Line for Line, when we start the podcast, we do the most cliche thing ever. We just start with the guests just telling us a little bit about themselves. So you lead the way, young man.
So my name is Talib Young. I am a junior at Harborside Academy. I play 3 sports, football, wrestling, and track. I love sports. I get outside. I do at least 400 hours every summer with community service. I try to get out there and help mentor others, like my mentors help me. Mm-hmm. I'm a student advocate for mental health, and I love my family.
Of course. Now, when you say 3-sport athlete, brother, just help us understand how you find the time to compete in 3 different sports as a high schooler.
Oh, man, it's really busy because I also work 2 jobs, too.
What?
I work at Ruffalo's Pizza.
I love Ruffalo's Pizza. That pizza is pretty good. That pizza's really good. Which one? Wait, which location? On 45th?
45th.
Oh yeah. I grew up right around the corner from there. Ruffalo's know me. Hey, for real.
Whenever you come in, I'll make sure I stop by.
Yeah, gotcha. But back to your story. I'm sorry to interrupt with my talking.
And I do landscaping a lot. And then, I don't know, I just go with the flow, and then it just makes me want to keep going and grind harder because I know I got things I need to provide for.
Mm-hmm. Of course. Now, when you say 3 sports, just help us understand which one is your strongest sport and why.
So I've been coming across that question a lot because as a senior coming and graduation, I want to play sports in college. But I would like to say wrestling. Even though I love all, track and football, but I would say wrestling because the mental mindset that you build and the physical your appearance is, it's so unbelievable. And it's hard to compare that with any other sport.
Mm-hmm. Of course. And how long have you been wrestling for?
Oh, man, I've been wrestling for 7 years now.
Because what are you, 16, 17 now?
Sir.
Okay.
17.
Nice. And you're also a mental health advocate as well, too.
Yes, sir.
Can you just help us understand how you got into something so real and something just so raw?
Because one point in my life where I was down in a closet and I didn't know who to talk to or have somebody there, and I didn't want nobody to go through the pain I went through because I did attempt suicide to myself.
Oh no.
By setting myself on fire with alcohol and a lighter. Mm-hmm. And I know it's not good to be in that position because it takes a toll on your body, and it takes a toll on your mental health, mm-hmm. and it takes a toll on the people around you. Because I love to set the positive energy. So I got into there because I wanted to have that positive effect and show others that, hey man, it's okay to ask for help if you need help. Just let other people know that as a young teen, man, we do go through things, Mm-hmm. And as a young teen, and I'm doing this, and as a young teen, they could be like, oh, I can't come to an adult because they don't know how it is, or I can't come to somebody my age because I don't have no friends. Mm-hmm. So I am that person your age. I am that person that has been in the hospital for 5 or 6 months.
Wow.
Yes, sir.
Now, how old were you when the suicide attempt happened?
I was in the middle of 4th grade.
Okay.
So about 10, 11, 10, 9. Yes, sir.
Mind sharing the backstory on how you fell into such a deep hole where suicide was a contemplation?
So, growing up, my family, we barely had anything in life. And sometimes where your parents are taken away by doing some things, trying to provide food for us, trying to keep us under a roof, and then you also have your brothers that's working, you also working, and it just seems like you guys are doing so much, but there's not enough to get what we want to be. And I was just so overwhelmed, and then I had a bad day already, and then there was some things we couldn't afford, and then there was sometimes where we couldn't afford the electricity bill, and then it was just like my breaking point, and it was a bad day.
And this was 4th grade. Where were you living at the time?
So we was living in around Lake Beach, Illinois, and we was staying in the house, and I locked myself in the bathroom.
Oh no!
Yes, sir.
So you said you woke up in a hospital?
No, I got transported to the hospital because it was so bad that my skin was falling off.
Oh no! I'm sorry.
And it was like literally down to like the meat and the bone, and
you're about to make me tear up on this podcast.
Sorry, bro.
No, it's the raw story. That's what I want, the authenticity.
Yeah, and then we went to the first nearest hospital in town, but it was so bad that they had to transfer me to the burn unit in Chicago.
Oh no!
And then I was there for about almost 6 months.
5 or 6 months. What were some things that you were going through when you did come to and you realized what had happened? What were just some of the reflections and things that you were dealing with?
Like I said in my speech, the pain in my family eyes pierced through my haze of despair. So just looking at my mom and dad, then my brothers and them sisters, them see me in the hospital, and knowing I'm that cheerful person, that energy person, I felt a pain that I didn't want to feel. And I felt the pain in my mom's eyes was like, what happened if I were to lose my job? And I seen my father, he was trying to stay strong, but he was hurt in the inside. Because not only that, we was also dealing with my mom, breast cancer.
Oh my gosh. I'm sorry. Just from a young age, it seems like you were facing tragedy after tragedy. I'm sorry. And I don't want to be the first person to say that. I wholeheartedly look up to you, young man, seriously. Just from meeting you last week at the event, just being able to watch you on stage and watch you speak and watch how you conduct yourself at such a young age, young man, it's far from a miracle, seriously, young man. Seriously, I just want you to know that Line for Line podcast, we support you wholeheartedly. Whatever it is that we can ever do to help you, help push your mission and help you with your journey, young man, we're here for it.
Yes,
we're here for it. How good does it make you feel, though, to know that you've been through all of this and now you're that light to help other people possibly speak to someone on what they're dealing with and have that safe haven?
It brings me so much joy and so much inspiration, makes me want to go 200% each time. And just having that feeling makes me happy inside, because now that I understand that, everybody go through something, everybody think it's different, but just by being there for somebody and listening to them when they need it is really big. Yes,
of course. Can you just help us understand just a couple of things that you got working on as summer gets ready to approach and you continuing the mission of being that mental health advocate?
Yes, sir. So I got Boys of the Girls Club Youth of the Year award, and I connected with some of the state representatives down in Madison, Wisconsin. So we're planning on collabing and hosting events downtown in Kenosha, so where we can show people that, the help is here. We're going to advocate for mental health, and we're going to put some things out there. We're going to put some positivity out there, and we're going to connect with the people who come around, and then just spread that joy with others.
Of course. What will be that best piece of advice that you can give to that youth that's at home right now? They may feel like they have no one to talk to. They may feel like it's the end of the world. What are some things that you can tell them to help them understand that there's light at the end of the tunnel?
I would say that phrase, you embody hope and encourage others to do the same, because that was one of my phrases from the speech. And then don't be afraid to ask for help when you really need it. Because, yeah, you know, you may be going through this, you may be going through that. You know, maybe give your older brother a call. Maybe give your little sister a call. Maybe just talk to somebody and give them a hug. Because as soon as you give them that tight hug, you're going to feel so much better.
And sometimes that's all we really need in this world, is just someone to be able to show empathy towards us, too. You just never know what the next person is battling with. And I've always been that person that's never going to judge someone or look at someone differently because of things that they're going through. Because I too know what it's like to be homeless and go without and be stranded places, and just like, who do I have to call or to depend on when it's only you, yourself, and I at the end of the day. And especially having to go through that turmoil at such a young age, the age that I did, it's a miracle that I made it out. I was just one of the type that just always saw the light at the end of the tunnel and just understood if I continue to work hard, situations like this won't last forever. So, yeah, that's one thing for me. Now, when it comes to the youth speaking that you do, can you just help us understand how you're just able to comfortably tell your story and get on stage and allow people into that part of your life, which is the darkest times?
Oh, my God. It took a lot of practice. And I cried so many times because when I was telling my story, I was visualizing the incident that happened, and I was so, like, you know, scared to express it. But then after I told my story, I felt powerful. I felt like I can help one and another because this is my story. And if I can tell my story to encourage others, to have others listen, to have others focused on the little things in life, man, that could go a long way. That was just like always at the top of my mind. And I wasn't afraid. As I built up the confidence and as I kept going, I wasn't afraid to tell my story because I knew it can help somebody out there who's really in need.
Of course. Do you ever find yourself getting choked up about the progress that you have made and where you're at with things in your life now?
Oh, yeah.
Because I'll be the first to say, when I sit down and really just self-reflect, which I do in the mornings when I wake up, I literally get choked up at times. Because it's like, it's for me, it's just scary at times because there were times where I didn't believe that I would ever make it out and not be homeless anymore or not couch surf or whatever the case may be. There was times where I was like, I guess this is just my life. I guess I should just not care about anything anymore. I guess I should just be comfortable with living the way I live. But something always told me, like, this isn't the end of your story, you know? Like, especially with me being so young, I was like, there's still a lot of life left to live. So it's like, never fall victim to your circumstance. Try your best to work out as much as you can and find those outlets that are going to help you and support you. And I'm just thankful that I were able to meet the mentors and people in my life that I have as well, too.
Yes, sir.
Who have been some of the leading influencers to keep you on the path that you've been on and help make sure you're molding yourself into the person you need to be for you and your family?
Yes. Oh, my God. It's been a variety of people because I love smiling. I love, talking to people, encouraging. But I would say my family, first of all, because we is a strong bond. And, we joke around, we have fun. And then they let me know at the end of the day, I can always talk to them. But also my mentors, Mr. Gary Vargas, Mr. Brandon, Mr. Lloyd, Miss Wendy, and Mr. Brandon. And also my coaches, my football coaches, because, they help me out a lot. They give me rides whenever I need a ride. They see me walking, they be like, hey man, come on, because I stay far. Mm-hmm. And then also this one lady, Pacific in mind, her name is, I call her Miss Colleen. She don't like to be called Miss Colleen, but she's the trainer at Bradford High School. Mm-hmm. And she fills me with so much inspiration, so much dedication, and she gives me that little hope in life. And like the little things she say, and she will be real about it.
Mm-hmm.
And then sometimes you need that raw, sometimes you need that real to keep you going. And I would say her and her kids, because I love hanging with her kids. Her kids, they always make me smile, and they always like to come around a lot.
Of course. As we get ready to close out this phenomenal episode of Line for Line podcast, young man, can you just help us understand, maybe let us know into some of the words of wisdom that you give yourself as you get ready to prep yourself for your day, your week, your month, your year?
Oh, wow. So what I do now is, before I do anything, is actually, you want to do it with me?
Sure.
So I take a deep breath. Relax. I focus my mind. I try to keep everything out my mind, because I know as I'm talking, I know as I'm thinking, my mind likes to get thinking. So I do it again, but this time I hold it just for a little bit longer. So breathe in. Now I feel relaxed. And I'm going to do it one more time just to hit that spot. But this time, as soon as you breathe in, hold it, and then take a little sip. Try to breathe in a little again. Then when you breathe out, exhale all the way out, and then give it that little exhale.
Got it.
So and that helps me clear my mind, helps me be relaxed, so that way I can start my day. Then I put a smile on my face, and then I'll be like, hey man, you got this. I know Allah got your back, and I know I got something I need to do to provide for my family. I remember what is my why, and then I go into it. And I start with my style, because I like dressing up. Yes, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen, that has been Mr. Talib. I'm your host with the most, Devon Booker. That's been another episode of Line for Line podcast.
You calling or you listening, tune in every week. Line for line. Oh yeah, I'm going line for line.